Severe weather for Kansas and Missouri, including tornadoes, damaging winds, and very large hail, but we also have flash flooding for Arizona, the West, and also South Florida. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is September 3rd, 2025. For severe weather, we only have a slight risk, or a 2 out of 5 from Kansas to Missouri, and what that entails is we only have a 2% chance to see an isolated tornado, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and very large hail up to 2 inches in diameter. And when this is going to occur, it looks like late afternoon into evening, around 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time. But also in associated with this, places like northern Illinois are going to see some showers or heavy precipitation also around 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time. But places like eastern Michigan are going to see heavy precipitation early this morning into afternoon into evening. And a lot of these storms will turn into showers and go into places like Indiana and Ohio later into night and next morning. For flash flooding, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk, or a 2 out of 4 in Arizona specifically, and a marginal risk still in the west, but also in South Florida. Arizona and the west, you guys can expect half an inch of rain, but isolated. But in Florida, you can expect rainfall totals to be 3 inches or greater. And the time frames for the west, it looks like things are going to start around 1 p.m. Mountain Time, or that's 12 p.m. Pacific. And for Florida, a lot of heavy precipitation is going to happen this afternoon and early evening around 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and this will dissipate when it gets later into the night. But after midnight, it does look like things are going to re-intensify into next morning. And also, speaking of the tropics, if we look at the Atlantic, we still have that tropical disturbance where there's a 30% chance of something forming in the next 48 hours and a 70% chance of something forming in the next 7 days. And compared to yesterday, the potential formation area has kind of broadened a little bit and went more south. That's not really a good sign, because if it's below this latitude, then places like Puerto Rico and the States are going to have more risks for landfall if this storm does develop. But if it's above this latitude, then it's going to imitate what Hurricane Aaron did and go drift eastward. Now, if you look at the Pacifics, we have 2 hurricanes. We have Hurricane Kiko, which is still on the path to Hawaii, so it's still something to look at, but still also very far away. And now we have Hurricane Lorena, or Hurricane Lorena, and her path is going to go directly into Baja California. But this is also a problem for Arizona too, because her mid-level moisture is going to reach all the way over there, which is going to bring more monsoons and more heavy precipitation. Okay, now back to Kansas and Missouri, because there's a lot going on. So if we look at 500 millibars or midway to the troposphere, we could still see that we have that really broad trough. And if we take a deeper look, there's actually a very subtle trough going all the way from Iowa to Kansas. And if we take an even deeper dive, we would look at the high contours, we can see them spreading out a little bit, and wind barbs at this level tend to follow somewhat parallel to these lines. So when you have wind barbs diverging aloft, that's going to allow air to fill in that gap from below, which is going to provide upper level divergence or upward motion. And if we look at the wind speed, we have constant 45 knots, which is really good for wind shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts and prolong the storms. Another thing I want to point out is this area has a positive vorticity advection, meaning that there's a vorticity max headed into this area, which allows a lot more spin for the updrafts, which allows more upward motion. And if we look at the surface, we have that cold front going all the way from Canada to the plains, and it's a really strong cold front bringing that cold air from the north, and it's providing a lot of surface lift. And if we look at satellite imagery, we have pretty clear skies, which is bringing more diurnal heating, more sun, more surface heating, more instability. And this is why we have